Salut, bonjour, comment vas-tu? J'espère que tu vas bien. Bienvenue sur ma chaîne. Welcome to my channel, welcome to CONJURE South, and welcome to Justice Work. In tonight's conversation, we are going to be unpacking justice work. What does that look like? What does it really mean? How and when? Is it necessary? But there's more to why this was inspired this night. But before we get into that, I must first ask you to please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, leave a sweet, kind comment below, hit your notification or post notification buttons, and please share the video. So as always, before we get deeply into the conversation, I first need to remind you that tomorrow is the last day to sign up for the Working Ritual Weekend. You all, I am so excited about Working Ritual Weekend. I mentioned there's two big things. Yes, it's the thing about your gifts and abilities and all that jazz, of course, with the sound and things. Y'all know you gotta be careful with me, right? And then it is the healing. I was able to obtain local honey for all of the attendees. And I'm so excited. This is the only honey that I use. There's a local farmer here in town. And whenever the honey is ready every year, I get quart-sized jars, like a whole case. And I was able to get you all some jars that you're able to take, and we're going to work with the honey, but we're also going to learn about the honey, the benefits of the honey. One, it being local honey, as well as not just being local honey, but also the benefits of honey in so many different ways, and how you can utilize it. So I'm so excited to be able to share that with you, and hopefully you love it as much as I do. Beyond that, there's some very exciting news I'm going to be releasing during this time, and those that are there will get first dibs, is all I'm going to say. Is all I'm going to say. I tried. So there's that. Also, right now, that link is over in the description box. Also, the annual September Reset Community Lamp Service is available now. I am so excited for this service for everybody, because we are liberating you all. That mundane road is going to be clear. I'm going to tell you the beauty of this particular service is you're going to see real time, real blessings. And I was speaking to someone about just like how I do my custom work, and how the moment you pay for your custom work, things begin to shift, things begin to move. And somebody was saying that they did the fixed money. The money that they sent, the moment they put it in the mail, they turned right around and got that, if not more, came right back to them. Y'all about to really see, and that's the thing about the mundane things, it's very material. It's the houses, it's the cars, it's the stuff. It's what you have, is what we're getting now. And then we're going to work on the spiritual things next, and all of that jazz. The link is over in the description box, but big bundles. You know there's limited big bundles. And big bundles, y'all are getting your Steady Enemy Removal Lamp Oil and Working, Steady Home Protection Lamp Oil and Working, Black Cat Lamp Oil and Working. And when I say and working, this is a replayable video that will teach you how to build a traditional lamp. Not this. Not this. A traditional lamp. Real time. But as I mentioned the other day, I had a little secret that I was keeping from you all, and that is the Justice Lamp Working. I am going to teach you how to make a steady justice lamp. A steady justice lamp. Some people may call it a curse. I call it justice. You call it a curse. I call it protection. You call it chaos. I call it balance. And that is what has inspired tonight's video. Because when I teach you this, you are going to feel so ready, so empowered. And you know, it's that you don't have to get ready if you stay ready kind of energy is what that working provides. So you're going to get 4 workings, 3 lamp oils with your content and a replayable video. So I'm super excited about that. And that is what inspires tonight's conversation. The link is over in the description box. There are limited communities big bundles. And at midnight tonight, I will be logging off. There will be no more available. The only way there will be some available is if I don't stay up until midnight, but I wake up every morning at 5, so sometimes 4:30. As soon as I wake up, I will be closing the community service. So keep that in mind. All right, let us communicate and talk about justice work. So the very first thing is, what is justice work? So I've already brought this up a little bit, you know, that conversation of, is it protection? Is it a curse? Is it balance? Is it chaos? What exactly is it? So let me tell you, the thing about justice work, justice is accountability. Justice is the restoration of the scales. It is the balancing of the scales. As a conjurer, just as the everyday wake up out the bed magical individual, a big part of our creation as conjurers is to restore the balance of conditions, of spaces, of environments, of matters. And that is a huge part to our creation. And you may say, well, Queen, how is that so? Well, again, when you understand conjuration, you understand it is either a release or a request. It is a send-off or a summon. It is a push, it's a pull, it's attraction, it's a boarding. You know, it's the back and forth. But that is the restoration. This is the balance. This is the scales. So, for example, if someone put bad luck on you, or you got a lot of bad luck, you have to justify that. If someone is causing illness in your life, you have to flip that to health, from illness to health. That's the restoration. That is the balance. That is justice. All right? But also, when it comes to justice, it is that accountability. And the accountability is, and what I love the accountability aspect of justice, because a lot of times, and if you listen to me and you live as I do within the spaces of conjuration, a lot of people end up holding themselves accountable, and it looks like a curse, but it isn't. It really isn't. To them, more than likely, because it's what they've done to you. But this is when we begin to have that conversation of righting those wrongs. So when we talk about, again, justice work can look very different depending on the situation. Sometimes that accountability is more of, I need to give you what you deserve. Okay? I need you. So, and so here's the thing about it, especially when it comes like to accountability, for example. If you can't recognize the wrong that you've done and right that wrong, and hold yourself accountable and do those things, then we have to get involved. You gotta take this, and you're going to take this. Now to you it's just gonna seem like hard life. But the reality is you've made it hard. You've made it hard. So justice looks different per situation, per circumstance. You then may want to ask yourself, when should I do justice work? So again, I'm going to say it looks different in multiple spaces. If you do protection work for yourself, so this is, I tell people this a lot of times, you put enough protection on you and the ones you love, when people come against you, it looks like a curse to your enemy. Just like truth and facts sound like hate to those that hate truth and facts. Protection looks like curse to your enemy because they're throwing blades at you, but due to your armor, it's ricocheting and coming back and hitting them. And they don't understand it. They don't get it. And they're thinking, oh goodness, it's backfiring. My working may be backfiring. I gotta do something different. It doesn't matter what you do. So, protection. If you need to be protected and you protect yourself, and protecting yourself is not cursing somebody. Protecting yourself and arming yourself and walking around with that spiritual and mundane security is not your problem. You keep running into a wall. It's not your problem that your enemy keeps slamming their head against the wall. And then they're going, you're doing something. Oh no, I'm just existing. But you're getting everything that you deserve. If you keep throwing your head against a brick wall, that's in between you, your neck, and the chiropractor, period. That's just what it is. And we can't get around that in any way, any shape, way, form, or fashion. So if you need to do protection work, then you do protection work. So that's when, right? The other thing is too, when do you do justice work? Again, what is the circumstance? If you normally have a good harmonizing life with luck and challenges and lessons to learn and all of those things, if that's pretty good, but then that shift happens where it's just heaviness and all of these things and whatever, and it has been spiritually done, then it is for you to undo that. The only way to right a wrong is to right that wrong. The other person who did it, they're not going to get it back. That's not how hoodoo works. That's not how Obia works. That's not how Guinea works. That's not how Grigri works. Karmic things don't exist here. The only way to right a wrong is to right that wrong. So if you do me wrong, I can right it by cleansing. I can right it by reversing. I can right it by banishing and all of these different things. But it can be righted. Now, that is righting the situation. That's not holding the person accountable, depending on what you do. Because if you just clean it up, that's one thing. But if you rub yourself down with that egg, and you know who your enemy is, and you go break it in their backyard and their whole world crumbles, that's justice. You don't have to sweep your house down and everything that you have gone through is now in a pile of trash and dust. And you decide to take that dust and lay it at the front door of your enemy or on their walkway or by their car door. That's justice. I'm just giving you back what you gave. And that's what you better hope. You better hope I give you back what you gave, because if I give you back what I want to give you, you're going to wish you had worked yourself to be honest. And that's just as simple as it gets. So that's super, super important to know that. Sometimes when people are thinking about justice work, they are thinking about these harsh, hard, disciplinary, punishing events. That's not always the case. So yes, justice works. So you hurt me, I can hurt you. Yes, I can drop you in a bottle of alcohol and cause you to have a car accident by taking the bottle and throwing it in a particular space, and certain things happen, and etc. And that could be justice work. But I also can easily separate you from who you love, not through those means, but through separation work. That is justice work. What is justice for you? What are you going to be at peace with? And that is the true key to justice. Listen here. I always tell people it's very important to acknowledge what you've done, intentionally or unintentionally. What I mean by this is, if you unintentionally hurt my feelings are still hurt. Therefore, if you have any dignity and integrity for yourself, to yourself, you will say, you know what? That was unintentional, but I'm sorry because it wasn't my intention. But you also have to take a moment to reflect, to go, what did I say or do for that to even come off that way? Okay. That is a big thing. But the issue comes in when that accountability isn't being held, and that is a problem. So really, 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 really make sure that you are at peace with the justice you create. Because if you're not at peace with the justice you create, your justice becomes revenge. I mean, if that's what you want to do, I'm okay with that too. But you're never going to be satisfied unless you find peace within the justice you provide, that you give. Okay? So where is your peace in the justice that you are creating? So, a lot of individuals, when we talk about this idea of peace, a lot of times it plays with people's mind because they're thinking, oh my goodness, I've done something to this person. It's going to come back at me and all of these things. But before we get into that conversation, I do want to remind everybody again that tomorrow is the last day to get your Working Ritual Weekend tickets for the general admissions. That is available now. Link is over in the description box. And the annual September Reset Community Lamp Service. Big bundles, there are limited services. The tier under there are limited services. But big bundle, remember, you're getting a larger, more quantity of oil, lamp oil, steady enemy removal, your steady home protection, black cat lamp oil, which is all of these are exclusive except the home protection. But the big one is you don't get this oil, but you're going to get a working. So I'm going to teach you exactly what to do to make your own steady justice lamp. All right. So that is available now. The link is over in the description box. Today is the last day to get it. All right. There's that. Now, the next thing, as I was mentioning, as we were discussing the ideas behind the justice work. And a lot of people struggle with their conscience. It's, oh my goodness, is it going to come back? What's happening to me? What's going to happen to me? Are they going to know? Let me tell you something. Again, you have to be at peace with the justice that you are creating. The most simple, easiest, solid, and peaceful or peace-oriented working to do is reflection. Wearing that reflective object, that mirror, that piece of metal, the earrings, the headpieces, the necklaces, all of those things, that way is not, and you can fix those things to reverse working, or just simply reflect, because reflection is going to reflect regardless. Okay? You don't have to do anything. You can do a reversal oil or whatever, but the metal or the mirror will do that on its own. So the thing is, when you have a mirror and you have a reflective object or whatever it is, you are, to whomever is approaching you, you are responsible for the energy, work, efforts, intentions, afflictions you bring into my space. So whatever you bring to me, that's what you're going to get times 10. Period. Period. And that is a very, very important thing to know. And that way it's not even, oh, well, this is what I did to you. No, you did this to yourself. You came here with ill intentions and a bad mask on, okay? A horrible mask. And now you're upset because your world's crumbling and tumbling. Humpty Dumpty. Okay? So there's that. And so you shouldn't be fearful when it comes to justice work. Do not be fearful. Do not be fearful. If they're not fearful to hurt you, then you shouldn't be fearful to help you. Okay? That's where I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it there, just because I don't want to say too much and give too much when we have a video that's going to give you so much more. This has been a pleasure. I do hope this was beneficial to everybody. Again, at the very least, wear reflective jewelry. Simple, simple, simple to do. If you want an herb to throw down agrimony. That's a great one. And also Spanish moss. Let it catch any spiritual things that you have endured. And then you use that Spanish moss, because once it captures the bad work, then you can use that Spanish moss for bad work, actually. So there's that. All right, everybody. You all have a wonderful and blessed rest of your evening. It's been an absolute pleasure. Avec plaisir. Merci beaucoup pour regarder. Until next time. Bye-bye.